Hello and welcome to Our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 234.
It's moving day today and we are very sad to be leaving Shades of Green, but we are going to Coronado Springs. We're staying in the tower, very excited about that. So we got everything packed up this morning and we called Bell Services and I got a strange reply from the other end of the phone. They said, "I'm really sorry, we don't transfer luggage to Disney resorts." I was like, "Are you sure? Because I was told that you did when we originally got here." He's like, "I'm sorry, that's not something we have ever done before. You were misinformed." So I went to the front desk just to verify and ask what they suggest, and they said, sure enough, they don't do that. They've never done that before, and they suggested we call an Uber. Well, that's something we are very good at doing, so I had to go get a cart, went back to the room and loaded up and realized we needed another cart. So Robert went back and got another cart and came back. We loaded everything up, went out to the front, but the problem is we have so much luggage, we cannot call a regular Uber. We do have to call an Uber XL. They don't have as many of those, so it takes longer to get them generally. So we called one and we waited a little bit. They finally did arrive and he pulled up in a van and he goes, "Is it just the two of you?" I'm like, "Yep, just us."
Yeah.
He goes, "You didn't have to pay for an Uber XL." I was like, "Oh, but we did. Do you see all this stuff next to us?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Both carts are ours." His eyes got so big and he was like, "I don't know if we can fit all that in my van." I'm like, "Well, can we try, please? Since you're here, we've been waiting for an Uber to get here." He's like, "All right, we'll try." So he and Robert worked really hard, packed everything perfectly, and actually they did a great job. It made it in with no issues. Robert sat in the front seat, I sat in one of the back seats. It was totally fine, but it was a lot. Like, I really don't think he expected that today. We were probably one of the most interesting rides he's ever had. We did make it over to Coronado Springs without any more incidents. They did help us unload everything there. Thankfully, they put everything on the carts and Bell Services took it. That is the joy of being on Disney property, is they take care of your luggage for you, and I really appreciate that because we have a ridiculous amount of it. We went to the front desk to get all checked in and our room was ready, which is wonderful because we've kind of had a long morning already. So we were able to go up there, take pictures of the room, and do a room tour for Facebook and YouTube.
The beds in this room, we have 2 queen beds. We've also stayed here in a king bed, which is very similar, but the 2 queens this time. And as you can see, they do have the under the bed storage for these beds. You've got plenty of space down there to put your luggage, unless you're like us and you're living out of the resorts and have a ridiculous amount of luggage, then you have to use the room as well. In between the beds, you've got your nightstand with, again, some more drawers for storage and more plugs built into the lamp. So you have a couple USBs there and a couple regular plugs. And you can see that entire room tour linked in the description below and up there in the corner. It was really impressive how good the view was because this room is just a standard view. I guess in Coronado Springs' tower there's really not a bad view because it's kind of overlooking the theme parks on one side and the resort on the other. So anywhere you stay is gonna be really nice. We were really happy with this. Once we were done with the tour, I headed downstairs to get our luggage from Bell Services. It's just a quick walk over to the elevator and then to our room. So no need to have them bring it up and have to worry about tipping somebody else because we already tipped the bellman whenever we got here. So it's like, yeah, we'll take it up ourselves. Got the luggage in the room and took the cart back to Bell Services. Then we worked in the room for a couple hours, but we did have an early dinner planned with a friend here at Coronado Springs at Dahlia Lounge on the top floor. We've never eaten there, but we have seen it, and it's a really pretty lounge right next to Toledo, and we wanted to try some of the food they have on the menu. We got a seat outside and had just absolutely beautiful views from here. You could see Epcot on one side, and as you panned across looking out on the horizon, you could see Hollywood Studios and Galaxy's Edge, the spires poking up over the trees there. You could see Blizzard Beach way off in the distance, and if you looked all the way down the building, you could also see Everest over at Animal Kingdom. Pretty awesome to be able to see 3 different parks while you're up here having a drink or having dinner. We ordered several things from the menu here, starting with the fried calamari. I was very happy they have this on the menu. It's one of my favorite appetizers to get, and it was very, very good.
This was my favorite appetizer we got. They do such a good job with their fried calamari. This is pretty much what I ate most of the night because I wasn't a fan of most of the other things we got.
And the other things we got were the Spanish potato omelets, the little tapas that they serve over at Toledo. I already knew Alyssa wasn't a big fan of those, but I really like them, so those were mostly for me. And we also got the meatballs this time, but the meatballs turned out to be a little bit spicy, and that's not really Alyssa's thing.
Not at all, and that actually surprised us. It did say that it was spicy, but we were told it wasn't super spicy. I was like, oh, okay, I enjoy something with a little bit of flavor. I didn't get to enjoy the flavor because I thought it was a bit spicy for me, but I am a huge chicken and I have to start with that. So most people it would be fine, just for me it was just too much. So I stuck with the fried calamari and that was just all I needed.
Or at least it was all she needed until she was done with the calamari, and then she needed dessert, because you can order the Toledo Tapas Bar dessert here at Dahlia Lounge, just like you can get it over at Toledo. And this is an amazing dessert. This is a chocolate bar with 5 different flavored tapas on top. They want you to go through and kind of progress through the different flavors with the cheesecake flavor and the chocolate and the raspberry and the lemon and the espresso. Great little dessert. It's a lot of fun to eat, but it's also really rich.
But because it's chocolate, I absolutely love it. And all 3 of us really enjoyed this. This is the perfect ending to any meal because it's almost an experience. It's not just a dessert, because you'll try a bite and be like, oh my goodness, you gotta try this one. I really like that one. Oh, I don't like that one as much. Oh, but this one's my favorite. So everyone kind of ends up with like their favorite topping on top, which is really nice. It's just a fun little experience of like, which one is your favorite of all of them? We sat up here for a couple hours talking, enjoying the view, the food, the company. It was so much fun to see our friend again, and I was really happy that we had really good food too. It was finally time to say our goodbyes, so she headed out and we decided to go for a walk. It is much cooler now because the sun isn't out, and so we decided to walk around Coronado Springs. And this is such a big resort. There are so many places we can walk. So we just kind of wandered around the resort. We ended up going through the old lobby, and that's when we found out they actually had put new furniture in here. We had not seen this yet. The last time we were here, the entire place was completely empty. It was almost like an echo chamber. It was really weird. But now they've really decked it out. It looks so nice. I love the colors they've added. So this was just really cool to see. We continued on our walk and just enjoyed the rest of the evening before heading back to our room. And that was the end of our day today. So we'll see you tomorrow
for our Year with the Ears.